Hi everybody, 2018 ordinary level questions here. So we'll kick off. Question number 1 here, we've been asked to finish out this end view over here. So we'll just bring across all our heights. I can just tell that one's going to be a hidden detail. I'm bringing it across. Line there, we have a line there. And we just need to finish up this guy as far as the top. So that'd be our elevation finished there. Come down here, I always set up a crate when I'm drawing these, any object to be honest. And there's only one way you get good at these, and that is with plenty of practice. Now that's a circle, of course, if you're looking down it, but we won't be in this pictorial, so we'll be seeing an elliptical shape. Something like so. Now this guy probably looks a bit small, so I'm actually going to let the rim go on the outside. And again, just copying the elliptical shapes that I drew in there a minute ago. The sides there are going to drop down a wee bit. And again, copying that curve one more time. I might just drop these lightly down now. And if it was coming down the same size, that's about the width that they would be, but it's going to be in another bit, okay? So I'm going to set up another object there to help me draw this elliptical curve on the base. Okay, as you can see, it's tapering in there a bit. So it's just to give me a kind of a guide for the curve. Might make it a bit bigger actually now again when I get down there. And then it's telling you color or shade that guy there, right? So I'm just going to put a very quick light shade across it. Not spending too much time, we don't have it. And then if you want to kind of even out that, you can rub your finger on it there. And you can just go over maybe your heavy black lines a wee bit more then. Okay, so I'm just going to move on with the video. Now looking at this input or output, a mouse is definitely putting in, you're clicking, telling it information to do things. Keyboard also input. Monitor shows you things, so that's out. Speakers puts out volume. Scanner is taking in information, and a printer is putting out information. So if we flick that over there, move on to this guy. So you need to divide this up into 4 equal squares. So first thing I do is do a light construction lines like so. X would mark the middle, so then I would be able to put down my set square like so and get 4 of these squares. Now we can see 2 light construction lines there, so I'll replicate them. And when we do that, we get this point here, we get a point here and a point here, and that lets us draw in that dark triangle. Also, we have this point coming down from the top. That's a heavy line there. Heavy, heavy. Okay, now we're not asked to shade that, so I'm not going to bother. I'm just going to drive on. That's the object drawn. Here now is they're asking you to find out this. Now 2 critical points you must have is the focal points, right? Now we know that half the major axis there, if I set my compass to that and I swing from the top of the minor, that would find me both focal points. It's a critical piece. It's the most basic piece of information you must know about ellipses, okay? Besides how to, there we go, F1 and F2. And once we've them, we can just draw 2 light lines up. And a light line up here. Bring it across these lines. Then we can just draw in that and this here. For this one here, I'd actually, coming down here, this kind of sketching, count the dots, okay? So 1, 2, 3, 4. And so, and then this guy is 5, okay? So I would 5 across. I'd set up a crate first of all, right? Because it has to go into that crate then. Now we're coming across here at the top. Now they kind of did a few partial points here. So they got this point and they got the lower point down here. So if we count it up 1, in 2, up 1, in 2, and then we can join this guy back to here. And we can do a heavy line across there, okay? And same down here then, we can finish in the back there by sketching that down there. This guy is coming in 1 and up 1 here. And then I am going to come across here with a heavy line across the front there. And we're going to do the same over here then, in 1, up 1, and that'll get that sloping line going across, and then we can just drop down this guy here. Now, color or shade again, okay, so just very quickly put a shade across that. And rub your finger on it, give it a more even tone. Maybe a bit heavier down the bottom if you wanted to, okay? Now, moving on, question 7. So we've been asked to figure out how many square units. Now you can see this guy is the exact same as that shape. So let's say we cut off this and stuck it in there. We would be looking at a rectangle, okay? So we can count these across. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. By 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 6 8's 48, okay? So that's your answer there, nice and handy. This guy here, use this measurement here, right? So what you have to do for these kind of questions is put down your compass and set it to A. Then we mark it off on the scale they give us. And we can see there that A is going to be at 50 there, right? B, same thing. Set your compass to B, mark it off over here. And I can see that this guy is going to be on the 15. So that's 15 there. Question 9. Looking at them by a process of elimination, right? You can see there's 1 square in there on the bottom. There's 2 in this, so that's not it. You can see this guy is 5 squares high. It's not. It's 4 there at the most, so it's not B. C, 2 down, 4 over, 4 up. 2 down, 4 over, 4 up, and 1 out the side. So C is our answer. You can see D is totally wrong, okay? So that one there by process of elimination. D, question 10 here, we're looking at these circles in contact, okay? So first thing we need to find is this point on the other side. So one way of doing that would be, you would set, because these are just parts of circles, right? If I was to do on that circle, so the distance between 2 circles when they're touching is the radii added. So I get that distance there, swing an arc over here, swing an arc from down here. Okay, that's the place we're going to put our compass. And then we just need the radius here. So if we put down our compass there, there you know, I'll just reset that. The leg on this compass is wonky. Put down our compass there, ring it around, and that'll get that one done for you. Okay, this is to do with SOLIDWORKS or CAD commands. So this one, we've half, next suddenly we've 2, we have mirrored. Mirror is function, or is what you would have done there, command. Next one, you just put a circle around that. And then when you take from 2D to 3D, it's called extrude. Down here, number 12, count the number of squares. Well, I've got 1, 2, I've got 3, 4, and then I got the big square itself, that's 5. How many rectangles have I got? Well, I've got 1, 2, but then I've got this guy, 3, same down here, 4, and then you could have a rectangle going this way, 5, and the same over here, 6. So 5 squares, 6 rectangles. And we're on to the last page then, folks, which is this guy here. So we're just going to finish out this. So we're just going to continue on some of the lines here first of all. Now a bit of sliding set squares here. I will extend on this guy. Okay, and just, well, it's not asking to shade it, so I wouldn't bother, but if you put in your heavy lines, I'm just going to do with a colour to make it stand out. And that would be your object there. Last one here, we're looking for these, our second last one, sorry, perspective, okay? So all lines must go back to a vanishing point. So put in a line there, light construction line. And now what we need is, we're missing this line here, but if we could get this guy and we have this point, this time you're starting at the vanishing point and you're running through here. So that'll get you a heavy line as far as there. You can then turn this guy up. Vertical lines will always be vertical. That guy go to there. He'll go back to here. We'll have a bit of a heavy line there. And you can just join in these two then. Now the last line that's missing is from this point down to here. You won't see it all, but you will see that much. And that will finish out your perspective there. Last one down here, 1, 2, 3, 4. We've been asked to divide this in, divide these out. So we need 4 equal parts. So handiest thing I always say is draw off at an angle. And this time we'll step it out in tens. So 4 tens. Join this point to the end, and the rest then will be parallel. We'll set down our compass now. We'll swing in these arcs. Okay, and then just watch out there, color or shade, okay? So we'll just shade them in very quickly now. Now if you have a bit of time, you could come back at the end and you might touch up your shading like that, but just get through these short questions, and you want to get as much time for yourself on the long questions then as you can, okay? As I said, you can put to that with your finger sometimes, give it a more even tone to the shading. And that's the short questions for 2018, folks. So I hope you found that useful. More videos to come. Stay safe. Take care.